Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on immigration opportunities for newcomers and international students. This series of webinars is a joint presentation by the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Moncton and Immigration Greater Moncton. And today's topic is business and entrepreneurship. My name is Sylvain Montreuil. I'm the Director of Communication and Policy for the Greater Moncton Chamber. Bonjour à vous tous. Bienvenue à ce webinaire qui aborde des sujets reliés à l'immigration présenté par la Chambre de commerce pour le Grand Moncton et Immigration Grand Moncton. Le sujet d'aujourd'hui touche les affaires et l'entrepreneuriat. Mon nom est Sylvain Montreuil et je suis le directeur des communications et politiques de la Chambre de commerce pour le Grand Moncton. Before we start, we would like to acknowledge that the lands on which we gather are, by law, the unceded territories of the Maliseet and Mi'kmaq peoples. May we learn to live with respect on this land in peace and harmony with its people. Nous tenons d'abord à souligner que les terres sur lesquelles nous sommes rassemblés font partie du territoire traditionnel non cédé des Maliseet et des Mi'kmaq. Apprenons à vivre avec respect sur ce territoire en paix et en amitié avec son peuple. Today, we are pleased to have with us John Wishart, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Moncton, Alicia Grayeb from Venn, Simon Richard with Opportunities New Brunswick, Katherine Lanteigne of Women in Business NB, and Francesco Calazzo with 3+ Corporation. Bonjour à vous cinq et surtout merci d'être avec nous pour parler affaires et entrepreneuriat. Thank you for being with us today to discuss business and entrepreneurship. After the presentation, we will have time left for a Q&A. Everyone's microphone has been muted for the webinar, but you can ask a question at any time during the presentation by using the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Les micros ont tous été fermés pour la présentation, mais vous pouvez utiliser la fonction Q&A au bas de votre Zoom pour poser vos questions. Okay, well, let's jump right away because we have a lot of content to present to you today. So we'll start right away with le PDG de la Chambre de commerce pour le Grand Moncton, Monsieur John Wishart. John?
Thank you, Sylvain. Merci. I want to thank Immigration Greater Moncton for being a partner with the Chamber in this 3-part webinar series for newcomers and international students. At the Chamber, we truly believe that the pathway for growth is by attracting and retaining as many newcomers to our community as possible. Ceci signifie s'assurer qu'ils se sont bienvenus, qu'ils peuvent s'intégrer et qu'ils ont une place dans le milieu des affaires, either through a good job or by starting a business of themselves in the community. So that's the topic of today's webinar, business and entrepreneurism. So I'll take about 10 minutes to explain how the Chamber of Commerce plays a role in that sector. Tout d'abord, quelques détails au sujet de la Chambre. Nous avons été fondés en 1891, back when the big issues of the day were railway freight rates and the need to dredge the Petitcodiac River so supply ships could make their way up the river. So obviously times have changed. Today, we represent about 800 businesses ranging from solo entrepreneurs to giant industrial players. And our issues today range from lobbying for low business taxes, support for business, the need to increase and improve and develop our workforce, and also the need for greater immigration. La Chambre est fière de faire partie du partenariat local en immigration de Grand Moncton. We believe encouraging more immigration and welcoming immigrant entrepreneurs into our community and helping them find their place is a very important long-term goal. So how do we do that? If I could have there we go. So first of all, it's through membership services. So that means we have, as I said, 800 business members, and businesses pay a fee per year to belong to the Chamber, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But some of the benefits that they receive in exchange for that fee include low-cost insurance if they want to provide health insurance to their employees. We have cost savings on things like office supplies, shipping services, credit card processing fees, all those sorts of things. And we also have things called member-to-member deals, where one member of a chamber may provide a benefit to another. And I'm thinking of things like we have a computer company in town that provides a discount rate for computer services, a car rental company that provides a better rate for car rentals. I also want to talk about something that we started just in the past year that I think is especially attractive to newcomers, and that's our startup membership. So for the first year in business, for $100, which is roughly about 33% of our normal startup or normal membership fee, an entrepreneur can become a member of the chamber. So you can also pay for that monthly. So basically it works out to about $10 a month, or 3 cups of coffee per month. And this is a great way for newcomer entrepreneurs to get connected with the rest of the business community and to take advantage of some of the services that we provide. And one of those services is something we've also just launched called the Mentor Match Program. So when you're starting out in business, maybe you're new to the community, what do you need help with? You need help with legal, with your finances and banking, with perhaps IT, with HR, with marketing. So we match newcomer entrepreneurs with longtime experts in those fields who provide some free service to them, some free time. And so that's what the Mentor Match program is, and we think it's a great benefit if you're just starting out in business. So now I want to talk a little bit about our events. A big part of what the Chamber does is holding events. We hold close to 40 a year. Now, obviously, in the COVID-19 era, that's proven to be a little bit more difficult, but I'll get to that in a minute. Those events are a lot around networking. We have something called Business After Hours, and we're looking at ways to reinvent that in the virtual time. It's a great place to get together with other entrepreneurs and talk shop, exchange business cards. We also have a lot of professional development and education series, our Breakfast and Learns, our distinguished speakers. And lately, we've transitioned those to a series of free Zoom webinars, about 20 of them during the pandemic on various things. This is one of them today that we're taking part in. And last but not least in events is what I call celebratory. That's, things like the Greater Moncton Business Excellence Awards, where we highlight some of the great work that's going on in the community. One of those awards that we've given out the last few years is called the Inclusive Hiring Award, which goes to a company that really does a great job in hiring newcomers. Another one that we've just developed is something called the Top 20 Under 40, which highlights younger entrepreneurs and game changers that are out there. So the third aspect of our work is about something called advocacy. Since we don't get any operational funding from any level of government, we can speak out independently on behalf of business. And when you're just starting out in business, likely you don't have the time and maybe the expertise to know who to call in government to get something done, who to call to press your case. That's where we come into play, and we do that on your behalf. We communicate through the media frequently. Last year, we were in the media about 140 times, so we're out there on any kind of business issues. And one of the things that we talk about often is the importance of additional immigration, including as recently as this week when the New Brunswick Multicultural Council published a new poll that showed that support for immigration remains very strong in New Brunswick, which is a great sign. We also, in the last year, lobbied at the national level for improved immigration. Each year, all the chambers of commerce across Canada get together for an AGM, and a big part of that meeting is policy debates. So we proposed 2 resolutions, one that suggested cities the size of Moncton really deserve and need their own IRCC office. We used to have one, it was taken away. That debate went to the floor. It needed 2/3 support from chambers across Canada, which would be 67%. We managed 73%. Some of our friends in Alberta and Ontario thought it was just a government make work program and we're against it, but we managed to stick handle that one. The second is around foreign credential recognition, which has been a chronic problem of newcomers coming into the region with great skills, great education, but not being able to find employment really at the level they deserve. So that motion was approved by 100% of the delegates from across Canada. So now that becomes part of the Canadian Chamber's advocacy plan. So when they meet with the federal government, these things are on the radar. So in conclusion, I just want you to know that if you're a local company working to attract more newcomers, if you're a settlement agency working to integrate them, or if you're a newcomer, an immigrant who's recently arrived and you want to become part of the business community, I think really one of your first stops or first calls should be here at the Chamber. We really are here to help you. On the screen now is some contact points for myself and some of our social media channels if you'd like to start to follow us. And nous sommes ici pour vous aider. We really want to continue to be an integral part of your experience. So I'll be happy at the end of the session to answer any questions. And at this point, I'll turn it back over to Sylvain.
Thank you, John. And we will continue now our presentation with Alicia Grayeb from Venn Innovation.
Thank you. So I'm going to make this presentation in English. Je ferai la présentation en anglais, mais si vous avez des questions, je peux vous répondre aussi. So who is Venn? If we can go please to the next slide. I am going to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do so we can understand, so you can better understand how we can help. We're a non-for-profit organization, a tech and innovation hub, who is provincially mandated, and we're membership-based. What do? We work on a regular basis with companies, government partners, and ecosystem organizations, and our focus is tech-enabled knowledge-based industries. What does this mean? That is any type of organization out there who has a tech component in their operations or who needs tech to exist. And if we can please go to the next slide. So what do? We like creating connections. How? We connect small and medium enterprises with resources, the resources they might need to grow or scale up or access new markets, with government partners and with other stakeholders such as academia, research bodies, and some of our other accelerators and incubators in the country. And we can please go to the next slide. Thank you. How do we do this? Venn has three main pillars. We have the Venn Garage, which is the one I'm going to focus on later, which is our early stage incubator, Venn Growth, and Venn Talent. In the Garage, we connect entrepreneurs. We help them validate their idea and put this idea into action. Venn Growth is more for first companies that are looking into growing or scaling, same as accessing different markets or new markets. And we connect them with our expertise in-house and out there. We offer resources and we offer training. Our Venn Talent is one of our newest pieces where we connect tech companies with the right talent out there, which brings me to, if we can please go to the next slide. How do we do this? We do this through a series of trainings and events. And the next one, if we can please click on the next button, is on the 22nd of June. What are we going to do there? This is a series of webinars and training designed specifically for people in the HR sector, so HR professionals or recruiters who want to better understand what IT skills people in the tech sector have. How can they make sure that they understand the skills of the candidates and be able to make better recommendations when they're hiring, mostly for their managers and clients. So you'll learn all about the technical terminology and the concepts and how to do intake meetings and job descriptions for them, how you hire outside of your comfort zone. So I really recommend it if you have the time. So if we can please go to the next slide. Now we're going to talk about our Venn Garage. As I mentioned earlier, that's our early stage incubator. It's a non-cohort incubator. What does that mean? It simply means that we don't have specific intake dates and we don't have a one solution fits all. So we will take each company case by case and help them go through the whole process through our one-year program. And each startup that is accepted into our garage receives an in-kind investment of more than $50,000. And we do this in a mixture of virtual and in-person strategies. So if we can please go to the next slide. What are the steps or how we do this? Once you get into the Venn garage, we'll help you go through your validation. So if you just have an idea, that's okay. We help you go through that idea, see if we can tweak it a little bit, what you have to do, and what is your market gap. Once you have defined your market, because maybe you have an idea, but you don't really know you have a need for it, we help you define that. Once you know you do have a market, we help you develop your minimum viable product, your MVP, or your POC, proof of concept. You test it, so you eventually can go into revenue growth and go into the next stages, like would be the Venn growth program. If we can please go to the next slide. So what do you get if you're in the garage? We can offer you a workplace, mentoring and coaching with our entrepreneur in residence and our pool of mentors. We give you courses and training, access to a wide network through events and through the mentors and pool of expertise we have in here. We can give you access into new markets as we have a lot of diversity in Venn. We can give you access to the European market, Asian market, etc. We connect you, we give you resources and tools. One of the latest one is that we have a private cloud where you would have access to store all your data privately and security with a private built-in chat as well. We can please go to the next slide. So what's a candidate persona? What are we looking for? You have to be a tech-enabled company, even if it's just with an idea, based in New Brunswick. Again, tech-enabled just means that you have a tech component in your operations or that somehow you need tech to survive or to make your company viable. If you've already started making revenue, you need to have less than 50K a year or just be in idea stage. And we take early idea stages up to pre-seed, meaning that you have had less than 100K investment if you've already had some. Next slide, please. You have to have specific characteristics and values to be able to be in our program, mostly coachability, because we'll guide you through the whole process, and you need to be open to changing sometimes that idea or to tweak it somehow so that it fits the markets. You need to have a sense of community. You want to belong to New Brunswick and be able to make an impact here. Assertiveness. We need you to know when to act and how to act. Be very witty and proactive and have passion, most of all. So if you think you fit into these categories, if we can please go to the next slide. I invite you to get in touch with me or visit venninnovation.com and apply through our garage from there. And thank you. With this, I think our next speaker is Wishart from OMB.
There you go. Yeah, so thank you there, Alicia. Merci beaucoup. Merci de nous avoir aujourd'hui. I will be presenting a bit of Opportunities Brunswick and what we do, more specifically the Business Navigators and how it can be a great tool for businesses and basically people looking to start a business here in New Brunswick. Si jamais vous avez des questions aussi, n'hésitez pas à me les poser en français. So I'll just start off now. So basically, Opportunities New Brunswick is the economic development agency for the province of New Brunswick. Basically, we help businesses with various services, whether it be connecting them with various resources. We have financial support as well. Whether you're looking to bring a business into New Brunswick, start a business, and so on. We have various teams that help with this process. So we have business growth that usually deals with businesses that are in the province and are looking to do projects, get connected locally, provincially, and kind of potentially end up reaching international markets. We have our investment attraction team that deals with bringing companies into New Brunswick and kind of how to get through those guidelines and help you guys through that. We do have workforce strategists as well that work with our companies to ensure that they can find employees and recruit them and develop a recruitment strategy in order to kind of get people into your business. We also have export consultants that can help you ease into the export phase and kind of imports as well. We have our marketing team that can help that works with us on various campaigns, such as Make Your Move to New Brunswick, and we do have our finance team as well that helps us write our projects in that regard. So more specifically on the Business Navigators. basically what it is, it's a one-on-one support for business owners, or entrepreneurs, or even citizens with a business idea looking to get started in starting a business. We know it's not always easy to go through the regulatory landscape. This is why this service was put in place, where we could help local entrepreneurs or people looking to start a business to navigate through government services in order to get information on permits, licenses, and kind of get started a little bit quicker with your business and not go through all that red tape originally. Basically, it was launched in October 2019. It is a fairly new program, so we are still learning and developing as we go, and are looking to help more businesses as well and bring on new people to our team. Normally, we take inquiries through phone or by email, and we'd be happy to chat with anybody to see how we can help. Normally, we do respond within a 2-hour period from an original inquiry, and you'll see us later on that we do receive an answer within a 24-hour period from our government partners as well. In terms of COVID-19 inquiries, of late, we've been working with government, as you might have heard our name, through the premier speeches, where we would help businesses kind of get through that regulatory landscape of what's written in the mandatory order and what are the best ways in order to move forward with setting up a business during the COVID-19 pandemic. It hasn't been easy, but we've been well connected with our partners and have been working well in terms of providing you with the right answer. So just temporarily, that's another of the services we do offer as well. To go a little bit more in detail on what is a core inquiry for us. Normally business registration, if you're not aware of kind of the business structure, how you want to register, where to register, for example, doing a nuanced name search to get your business started, inspection requirements for garages or restaurants and so on. We can connect with public health directly to get that answer for you. As well as permits and licenses, whether it be a permit to sell liquor within a facility or to produce it, or how to sell to ANBL, and kind of how to get a Class 3 or to a Class 5 restaurant license. And it is very vague as well, so we can help very different sectors in that regard. There's also municipal regulations we can help with. So if you, even if it's not something we touch directly and we have some direct information on, we can help connect you with the right resources in order for you to kind of reach out to these people and kind of get the information that you're looking for. We don't help with federal taxes and imports. We can provide you with the information on them again, as well as business planning or market research, and what are the tools in order for you to use to get your business started. If we don't have the expertise, we usually like to bring them in. We don't always have the answer right on hand, but we'd be happy to help anybody out with that as well. Some things that we don't touch, non-for-profits, and a few different others, such as complaints for staff or others. We can look into it. For example, if a nonprofit was looking for some funding or just kind of get through the ecosystem and get connected a little bit, we'd be happy to touch base with them and kind of have a chat and see what would be the best way to go about or to go to these changes, or maybe to connect with the right people with that. How we do it, basically, like I said, we're not subject matter experts. We do have a bit of expertise in some fields, but normally we don't always have the answer on hand, and we'd be happy to look into it as quick as we can for you. Basically, the way it works is we have departmental navigators within our different government departments, such as PEDAL, population growth, public safety, or public health, that normally respond to us within a 24-hour period of our request. So it is a very quick turnaround. So don't worry about it. Normally we can get back to you quickly on either the funding or whether it's a permit that you require for your business, as well as our partner organizations that we work very well with, and we've worked over the years with to kind of provide you with that correct information on that. Basically, it's to avoid passing around clients throughout government departments and get them connected with the right person right away in that regards. Here's a list of a few inquiries that we deal with regularly. Normally, just how to register your business, whether it be opening a childcare facility and getting in touch with education and education and early childhood care development. We can get you in contact with somebody there, provide you with the correct information on where to go about that and applying for permits, whether regulations in order of kind of hiring employees to do so, or what are the guidelines to follow in order to do so, especially with COVID lately. There are some tricky situations, and we can definitely reach out to public health right away in order to get that figured out. There's also a list of a few example of businesses. If you guys see that you want to start a business that fits into these services, let us know and give us a call, and we'd be happy to at least have a chat with you and see whether it be startup cost or whether it be just business registration. We'd be happy to have a chat with you guys. So yeah, so that kind of sums it up a bit on what we do. Like I said, we do have our phone line with the business navigators that you can reach out to us directly, either by phone or by email. That's my personal email address as well. If you guys want to reach out and have any questions and you just want to know a bit more about ONB or what we do, I'd be happy to have a chat with you guys and see what would be the best way to go about helping you guys. Also, it's just kind of a brief description of what we do. So just trying to get your business off the ground. And if you're an existing business owner or somebody just have an idea for your business when you get to New Brunswick and you just want to get connected within the local ecosystem, don't hesitate to reach out, and we'd be happy to chat with you guys. So I'll just pass it off now to Katherine Lanteigne with A Woman in Business.
Donc, mon nom est Katherine Lanteigne et je suis directrice de Femmes en Affaires Nouveau-Brunswick. And today I will be doing my presentation in both languages. So do not hesitate to ask any question in the language of your choice. So, Femmes en Affaires Nouveau-Brunswick est en opération depuis 2002. On est un organisme à but non lucratif qui aide les femmes entrepreneurs autant dans les régions rurales que dans les régions urbaines. On spécialise aussi dans les ressources bilingues et on a 3 catégories ou secteurs spécifiques. Donc, entre autres, on aide les entreprises au niveau du start-up, des entreprises qui cherchent à croître et faire une expansion, ainsi que les entreprises qui cherchent à faire de l'exportation à l'international. Et plus récemment, on vient d'embaucher aussi une agente de développement pour les femmes autochtones. So, I put our vision and mission here. So I have my PowerPoint in both languages, so I can send it afterwards either to Xavier or Sylvain. So that way, if you can revise it when you'll have time. And so I just want to quickly introduce our staff here at Women in Business New Brunswick. So we have a dedicated development officer per sector. So we have here Jenna Alain Boudreau, which is the development officer for startups. And so basically, what Jenna does is that it's a lot of one-on-one. So there's a lot of guidance. She meets with the customers through either in person, email, telephone, and now more than ever, Zoom. And so she makes sure that she really do a needs assessment. She also makes a lot of research to make sure that she has the right information to provide to the entrepreneur that is looking to start their business. Also, she identifies needs and training opportunities. So that is something that we do. We offer some trainings at Women in Business New Brunswick to all women entrepreneurs that are looking to start a business or either grow or export. She also has she develops all kinds of tools to help entrepreneurs. And so, for example, she has a startup guide, and she makes sure that she goes through all the steps with clients that would reach out to her. And then we have our development officer, Audrey Poitras, which is the development officer for growth and expansion. Alors, Audrey, au niveau de ses compétences, elle fait encore beaucoup de rencontres 1 à 1 avec les clients. Donc, c'est vraiment pour des entreprises qui sont déjà établies au Nouveau-Brunswick et qui cherchent à croître. Va aussi faire beaucoup de recherches liées aux demandes des clientes. Bien sûr, on a aussi des guides de croissance. Va aussi faire des formations, des ateliers, des webinaires à des sujets qui sont vraiment reliés à tout ce qui est croissance d'entreprise. Entre autres, fait aussi des synergies avec des partenaires provinciaux et fédéraux pour s'assurer que les clients, des fois, peuvent cadrer dans certains programmes où des fois, il peut y avoir des fonds qui sont disponibles. Donc, on s'assure d'aller chercher le plus d'opportunités possibles pour les clients qui nous approchent. Bien sûr, on offre aussi à travers de Audrey, on appelle ça des Consultant Advisory Services. Donc, ça vous donne accès à des consultants. Donc, nous, on vient défrayer une partie des coûts pour les consultants et ça vous donne accès à vraiment avoir un expert dans le domaine pour vous aider dans votre entreprise. And then we have Claire Efestion. So Claire Efestion is our development officer for export and international trade. And so Claire is also doing a lot of one-on-one with our customers, and she does a lot of research. So there's a whole lot of, when you're looking to export your products or services, there's it's a completely new world. You have a lot of norms, you have a lot of regulation you have to oblige to, depending on which country. So there's a lot of research involved, and Claire can really help you reduce all that work that you have to put in. And there's a lot of counseling and guidance that's involved in that as well. She also organized some specific sector specific training. So last year, for example, we had a big increase in demands from crafts. A lot of people looking to export their crafts, and beauty products kind of fell into that sector as well. So we make sure that we are really listening to what are the needs from our clients, and we really adapt training for that. And she also has an export guide, so she's able to really sit down with the customers and really understand what are their needs and then bring them to the next level. And we also do, and I'll touch a little bit further on that later on, but we also do peer-to-peer matchmaking with other women entrepreneurs from other countries. And we have our latest employee here, which is Natasha. So she is our development officer for Indigenous women entrepreneurs. There was a need that was, we were approached, and there was a lot of women entrepreneurs that were looking to start their business. Donc, une grande demande au niveau des femmes entrepreneurs autochtones. Donc, Natasha s'est jointe à l'équipe, et ce qu'elle fait, en gros, c'est encore beaucoup de conseils, parce que c'est sûr qu'il y a beaucoup de règlements qui peuvent être différents pour les femmes autochtones sur les communautés de Premières Nations. Donc, on doit s'adapter à ça aussi. Ensuite, elle met en place des groupes de réseautage, des présentations aussi au niveau des communautés de Premières Nations. Et j'ai placé toutes les différentes tâches que Natasha fait aussi. On a ensuite Isabelle Arsenault, qui est she is our project coordinator. And so Isabelle is like Women in Business New Brunswick just is part of a Pan-Atlantic project, which the goal is to really share our best practices. So we're looking at implementing different programs that we have, and one of them is moving women online, and I will give you more information about that later on as well. So a few of our initiatives that may be interest to you, and I forgot to mention that all our services are free. And so we have this new initiative that we started because of COVID-19, which is the coffee breaks. Donc les pauses café sont c'est ouvert à tous, c'est des sessions de réseautage en ligne. So if you are in New Brunswick, or if you are outside of New Brunswick, you can participate. You can be at home, doesn't matter where you are in the world. And the goal of the coffee breaks is to put you in contact with women entrepreneurs in New Brunswick. So there's a lot of sharing of best practices that are happening, especially during COVID-19. There was a lot of question, and we were able to really discuss about what are you doing in your business? How are you adapting? How are you pivoting? So I put the link at the bottom of the PowerPoint presentation. Donc, si vous voulez vous enregistrer, la prochaine pause café va être le 24 juin prochain. Donc, la semaine prochaine, n'hésitez pas à vous inscrire. On vous demande de vous inscrire à l'avance, mais absolument aucun frais pour y participer. Puis en même temps, ce que ça fait, c'est que ça vous donne l'opportunité de faire des contacts au Nouveau-Brunswick. So the English version of the coffee break is on June 24th from 10 to 11, et la version francophone est mercredi prochain, le 24 juin, de 1h à 2h. So this is how it looks like. So we have all the participants, and then we do breakout rooms, so that way we're able to have smaller groups. On a aussi pour les entrepreneurs qui ont débuté leur entreprise pendant la COVID. So we were hearing a lot of people were looking to have access to a consultant, and that is a service that we do, but usually the process is a bit longer, so we kind of shorten the process. And for whoever that we're looking to have any kind of access to a consultant, we would have this program that was free, and it would give you access, and it's still available. We still have room. So if we have entrepreneurs that are attending this presentation, don't be afraid to reach out to me, or I put Audrey's coordinates at the bottom, but it gives you access to 2-hour one-on-one free consultation with a consultant in 4 distinct categories. So it's cash flow, HR, adapting to new technologies, because we did have to adapt to it. Everybody had to adapt to new technologies, and market readiness. I was talking earlier with the export that we have a program that matches women entrepreneurs from New Brunswick and entrepreneurs from elsewhere in the world. So we launched May 24th a program in partnership with a women's organization just like ours, but in Germany. So there's a lot of partnerships that are being done, and we are pairing women entrepreneurs from here with a similar sector in Germany. And we're currently looking at developing something similar in France. And so that is a possibility. And like I mentioned, there's no cost to participate in our programs. Donc, on a aussi W-Power. W-Power est un autre programme qu'on a développé avec Femmes en Affaires en partenariat avec des organismes de femmes entrepreneurs des autres pays. Donc, entre autres, on parle de l'Irlande, l'Écosse, la Finlande, la Suède et l'Islande. Et vraiment, ce projet est pour venir en aide aux femmes entrepreneurs qui se retrouvent surtout dans les régions rurales. Donc, on s'est aperçu rapidement que les femmes entrepreneurs, peu importe que ce soit au Nouveau-Brunswick ou que ce soit dans le nord de l'Irlande, par exemple, on s'aperçoit qu'on a beaucoup de défis semblables, que ce soit le vieillissement de la population, la migration des gens vers des plus grands centres. Donc, on travaille très fort avec eux pour justement développer des formations, créer des partenariats. On fait aussi des programmes de jumelage avec des femmes de ces autres pays. Donc, comme ça, il peut y avoir des échanges sur des défis qui sont semblables, même si c'est dans un autre pays. And then we have our other program, which I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, which is Moving Women Online. So Women Online is a new project. We're going to officially probably launch it next week. That's what we were aiming, but it's because of COVID-19, we really try to pivot quickly, and in partnership with our colleagues in the other provincial Atlantic provinces, we worked on this project, which is really trying to move women online, so sell their products online, because we know that if you're not online, it's very difficult, especially with COVID-19, and that is something that we're looking to do. So we're going to have cohorts where women entrepreneurs will join this cohort, and we'll be training them and making sure that they are online, and everything is funded by Women in Business New Brunswick, so and our partners at ACOA. So basically, the only rules the criteria to participate is that you are a women entrepreneur, so you have to be majority ownership in your business, and you have to have your business registered here in New Brunswick. And last but not least, we do have a training that's coming up. So for anybody that's already in business, we will be having our 12-week scaling up training program. So it is 12 weeks, and you have access. So it's 1 hour a week, and then you also have access to free consultation with a consultant. So I've put some coordinates at the bottom if you are interested in participating in this training. Donc, c'est vraiment une formation de 12 semaines et qui vous permet de faire une croissance de votre entreprise. Donc, j'ai placé des coordonnées au bas, et je viens de m'apercevoir que je n'ai pas placé mes coordonnées à la fin, mais en gros, j'aimerais vous inviter à communiquer avec moi. Ce que je peux faire, je vais envoyer ma présentation à Sylvain ou Xavier, qui, si jamais vous êtes intéressé à voir la présentation, ça nous fera un plaisir de vous l'envoyer, ou si vous voulez communiquer avec nous. Please do not hesitate. We are more than willing and happy to help you. Donc, merci, thank you, Walalin and Waliwan.
Merci beaucoup, Katherine. Thank you, Katherine, for that presentation. We're going to conclude our well, it's the last presentation, not conclude, because we have the Q&A at the end, but it's now turned from Francesco Calazzo from 3+ Corporation, and he's going to do his presentation in Italian, I think.
That's correct. That's correct. That's why I'm moving my hands.
Thank you, Francesco.
Hello, bonjour tout le monde. Je voudrais rebondir immédiatement sur ce que John a dit quand il a commencé la présentation, c'est-à-dire remercier Immigration Grand Moncton et la Chambre de commerce, évidemment, pour avoir conçu l'idée de ces webinaires, de cette série de webinaires. C'est toujours très importante. C'est vrai que le thème, c'est l'entrepreneuriat. And maybe I should switch to English here, but it's also the intersection where l'entrepreneuriat rencontre la sphère publique, la soutenabilité démographique et toute une série de défis that we are seeing present more and more on a daily basis in our public debate in New Brunswick and elsewhere, but particularly in New Brunswick and of course Greater Moncton, which is the fastest growing city in Atlantic Canada. So I'm here representing 3+, but I'm also here representing the experience that I am taking to 3+. I've decided not to go with a presentation because I hope that what we will say will spur some interest in our attendees, and they are very much invited to get in touch with me or one of the other counselors at 3+. What is 3+ and what we can do for you? 3+ is the economic development agency of the Greater Moncton area, which is Dieppe, Moncton, and Riverview. And amongst different mandates that we have, one in particular is entrepreneurship. And how do we foster and sustain entrepreneurship? Is by doing a trio, if you will, of activities. The first activity would be business counseling. It's a one-on-one activity, and it's where most of the budding entrepreneurs, they can be either immigrants, newcomers, or just, we don't discriminate, or they can just be Canadians. And with us, what they will find during the counseling will be working with them much in a Socratic way, I would say. We try to chisel, fine-tune, to give a better shape to the idea they may have come with to us. Then we have a second stream of activities, and that's the training one. We offer a number of training courses. In particular, every 4 months, 4 times a year, we offer a course which is called BIE, Business Immigrant Essentials, which again is aimed at one particular category of entrepreneur. But if we were to have a request for joining the course from a Canadian citizen, it would be so much the better. I would certainly not discriminating, not doing any positive discrimination. What we do into the training courses, we offer some of the skills that we perceive be the skills that the people we've met with seem to be struggling with the most. So that might be online marketing, or it might be a meeting with the officials of the City of Moncton, Dieppe and Riverview for permits and licenses, which is one of the things that we deal with a lot. Or it might be meeting with lawyers or accountants that mostly on a pro bono base offer their skills and their time. All of the activities that we carry, whether it's counseling or the training series, they're for free. They're entirely for free. Of course, we have to thank the province and the 3 municipalities for that in different regards, but that's where we have the chance to offer those moments for free. Then we have a third pillar, if you will, of activity, and that's a financing loan program, which is called Impact, that qualifies certain businesses with a business plan, with a proper business plan, projections for 3 years, a credit history that allows us to do that, and a number of other requirements which we can go through when you get in touch with us. And that financing is up to $25,000 for consolidating or starting up activities, even though we're not purely a startup financing point, because we need to have the activities need to be already in place. And these are the 3 main activities. And on the side, we have another activity which I think is extremely important in the context, in the light of this meeting, which is newcomers coming here on their exploratory visits. So technically, they're not newcomers yet. They're deciding whether to come over here. They might have a hitch to come to New Brunswick, and within New Brunswick, they're visiting the different regions, and they try to understand how the regions may help their vision, their business idea to be developed and to thrive. And that's when we meet them at a very pivotal time in their life, when they're taking an important decisions. And we're providing them with a number of information, and those information, which can be social, cultural, economic, and what have you, come from me for the time being, which obviously happen to be, as you can see from my first name and last name, come from somebody who was probably sitting in the chair or in some of our clients' positions not long ago. So I tried 3+, and I try to take that experience, that real life applied to their journey. Alors, si jusqu'à là tout est clair, ce que je voudrais dire, c'est plutôt revenir au volet numéro 1 des activités, c'est-à-dire le business counseling. Alors, ce volet-là est très important parce que c'est là où il y a le contact avec 3+. Et il n'y a pas de client modèle, c'est-à-dire que parfois, on se retrouve à parler avec des newcomers, des nouveaux arrivants qui arrivent avec des idées très bien développées, même avec des plans d'affaires qui sont évidemment tributaires d'une expérience précédente de la part de nos clients. D'autre côté, par contre, on se retrouve à discuter avec what I would say in English, a budding entrepreneur, where they might have an idea, but the idea is not entirely well developed. So it is our duty, and that's the way I try to engender this mission. J'essaie jamais de porter jugement sur les idées, parce que les idées ont tous le même respect, doivent recevoir le même respect, parce qu'on sait bien, si on a travaillé suffisamment de temps dans le monde du business, que parfois c'est l'exécution qui fait la différence entre une entreprise de succès et une entreprise qui ne rencontre pas de succès. Ce n'est pas l'idée. Donc l'idée doit être développée, doit être nourrie, doit être arrosée. And we're trying to do these, as I said before, as we referred to this before, in a maieutic way, much like in a Socratic fashion. We try to develop the traits of the business that needs to be developed. And on this particular stream of activity, which seems to be very important to highlight, I just like to close on one example. I mean, I might have more, but I'll just stop at one because we're running out of time. Just last week, I had somebody coming over. I say coming over, but what I mean is meeting on Zoom, obviously, because that's a post-COVID, the new normal post-COVID-19. And so he's a newcomer. He's from India. I think I can say that much. And he's telling me that he's worked at a data scientist and data analyst in India for huge international institutions, like, for example, amongst others, Bank of New York Mellon. And he says, I think that there's a lot that could be done in the current entrepreneurial fabric in New Brunswick. So I said, it seems to me like your set of skills and expertise, it's absolutely paramount to the moment we're living right now. But how to go about it? He wanted to open he wanted to know whether he should incorporate, where he should have a sole proprietorship company, and how he could do this and how he could do that. And I said, let's take it one step at a time. You seem to have a very good idea that needs to be developed. So how about maybe, and I propose obviously to help if he so desired, how about working on a script with which you could get in touch with the main actors in maybe the banking industry in Moncton or New Brunswick at large, and try to ask them for sort of like 20 minutes to just have a conversation. You've got nothing to pitch, nothing to sell, and to learn what their needs are, learn where the pain is, and then we'll take it from there. Because one thing that I always try to be very wary about, we want their business project to be sustainable. So I don't want them to throw themselves into the business world just for the sake of it, for ticking another number, but to make sure that they will be successful. And if they're successful and they thrive, everybody will be successful and thrive in the same fashion. And I guess Sylvain coming on the screen is a cue that I gotta bid goodbye to you for the time being. Of course, I can take questions, and if there are any.
Thank you, Francesco, for your presentation. Yes, it's time for the Q&A portion of that webinar, so we can answer some questions from any panelist. If you have some questions, you just click on Q&A at the bottom. Some of the participants have found the function very helpful during the presentation, so a lot of questions were asked actually during so if everybody wants to bring their camera back on the panelist side, c'est maintenant le temps des questions, et donc vous pouvez utiliser la fonction Q&A au bas. On va débuter d'ailleurs. We'll start with a question right away. I think John is ready to answer that one, and it's basically on the input. The workers and new Canadians are coming in with high skills, but the province and the country in general were not always ready to recognize what they have in terms of prior experience. So what can we do as a community on that side, John?
Thanks, Sylvain. That's an excellent question, and we see it's a chronic issue in our community and across Canada, really. I referenced in my presentation when we lobbied at the Canadian Chamber for better foreign credential recognition, and when I made my pitch to those delegates, I told the story of a gentleman from Syria that I talked to not too long before, who arrived in Moncton with an engineering degree and his MBA, and he was working cleaning at a local establishment as a cleaner or maintenance person. And so that's an example of woefully underemployed newcomer that we need to do better. So I think part of the issue is cultural training in our workplaces and among our employers, so that they understand the value that a lot of newcomers arrive with. Part of it is If people arrive with a designation of some kind, you know, an accountant, an engineer, a nurse, that we need to do better at recognizing those credentials across international boundaries. And there is a new organization that's been formed in the last 6 months called the Southeast Labor Market Partnership. It involves a lot of stakeholders, and part of that group's role is to deal with issues like that. So from our side, we lobby so that skilled workers really do get the jobs that they deserve. But we need to continue to put a lot of pressure on government and educate the employers on that aspect.
Thank you, John. I'm not sure if another panelist would like to share his thoughts on that question. I would take that as a no. Thank you. So next question is quite interesting, actually. It's a business that existing, and it's from an anonymous attendee, but anyway, it's a business that is already started in another country. And they want to bring that technology or that business into in our province. So what are the first steps that those that entrepreneur should do? Is there somebody from the panel?
I guess if it's IT, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, there's various streams you can go into in terms of coming to New Brunswick. On top of my head, I won't list them all off right now, but I can definitely provide kind of the options that are available if you're looking to bring in that business into New Brunswick or into Canada, I guess in this case that you're asking in that regard. And I'd be happy to, if you reach out to me, or I can reach out to you in terms of providing those streams that are available in order to do so.
Merci, Simon. Thank you, Simon. So probably more specific answers if you communicate with Simon directly, and you'll be able to exchange some information. Another one that is very, very pointy in terms of questions is about a home-based online type of business focused on in the food sector. I'm not sure, Simon, if you have maybe some details. I imagine probably the same kind of answers that you just gave.
Yeah, so if you so they're looking to open a business that's food delivery or kind of or anything in that sector where you're producing food at home and either delivering it or they're picking it up and so on. There's various classes of license that you need if you're a commercial kitchen. So there's a class 3, a class 4, and a class 5. And like I said, if you want to reach out to me, we can have a chat on exactly what kind of business you're looking to start. And after that, we can establish what class you're looking to get into in terms of producing that product at home and what license you require in order to do so. And if, for example, the zoning commission allows you to do so in a certain area of the city, there's various, I guess, factors that come into this. But I'd be happy to kind of sit down and kind of break them down with you if you would like, if that's okay.
Okay, so now thank you, Simon. Merci, Simon. Yes, Francesco.
Yeah, I'd just like to to clarify this for anybody, because I read one of the questions. The user seems to be frustrated. In fact, we all offer some sort of complementary services when it comes to this kind of information. So let's say that for a moment, the same user that now we had his question answered, the one about based food services, would get in touch with me. I would probably, apart from advising him on his business idea or in his business execution, I would put him in touch with Simon in order to get sure that we get the right answers. So it doesn't really matter, or if somebody comes in with an IT project, I'd probably get him in touch with Venn. So there's a really good interaction. I mean, as far as I can have witnessed in such a short time.
Yeah, and like Francesco said, sorry there, Katherine, but whether you reach out to any of us, really, we'd be happy to kind of bring in the right people at the right time. So for example, if you're looking to bring in your business, we'll include Venn when it's that time. We'll include population growth when you're moving in. If you're a woman in business, we'll bring Katherine in, and they'll analyze kind of which person within their team is going to work with you. So there's a step-by-step process. It's not always the same, but whether you reach out to any of us, we will include all our partners and make sure you're assisted along the way.
And if I can add, like, you're right, Simon and Francesco. Like we're a fairly small province, so the synergy is quite good. The ecosystem, the entrepreneurial ecosystem, there's a lot of help. So don't be afraid to reach out. It doesn't matter who you reach out to. We'll point you to the right person. And it doesn't matter if you're looking to start your business, if you're abroad and looking to bring a business here. We know the regulation, we know where to go. So it's important that the important thing is that you remember to reach out. Don't be afraid. There's a lot of resources and might as well use it. So
I would just add that there really is a no wrong door policy. So even if you think you're not going to the right door, the person behind that door will help you find the right door. And I think the other thing worth noting is that the sort of synergy and connectedness of like the organizations that are represented here today is quite strong in Greater Moncton compared to some other regions. We work well together, we play well together, so that's why I would encourage you just to reach out to anybody and they'll direct you.
Thank you all. Actually, in terms of question, I think we don't have any time more left for answering, but the main one to all the panelists is basically to have your contact, because a lot of people want to reach to you to have more information and your presentation. So we'll probably get in touch on that side and be able to provide that to the participant today. So in terms of conclusion, I would like to thank Francesco, Calazzo, Katherine Lanteigne, Simon Richard, Alicia Grayeb, and John Wishart for being with us today. Merci beaucoup pour votre participation à ce webinaire aujourd'hui. C'était très intéressant et ça donne bien sûr des bonnes pistes à nos participants. Je suis sûr d'ailleurs que les gens qui ont des questions pourront vous contacter avec les informations qu'on leur donnera. J'aimerais vous rappeler aussi que le webinaire a été enregistré, donc pour ceux qui demandaient durant la présentation. Donc c'est enregistré, ce sera disponible sur le site de la Chambre de commerce, donc le ccgm.ca, et également sur Immigration Greater Moncton, donc immigrationgreatermoncton.ca. Donc, les présentations ou la présentation, le webinaire est enregistré, il sera disponible. We hope many of you will join us next Wednesday because we have another one. The third part of that series is on employment and training services for newcomers and international students, and it's on June 24th at 11 a.m. You can register now at ccgm.ca. Le prochain webinaire dans cette série sur l'immigration, donc portera sur les services d'emploi et de formation pour les nouveaux arrivants et les étudiants internationaux. Et ça aura lieu le 24 juin à 11 h. Vous pouvez vous enregistrer sur le site de la Chambre de commerce pour le Grand Moncton, donc ccgm.ca. Merci encore une fois d'avoir participé aujourd'hui. Stay safe, take care of yourself. Bonne journée.